Boom. And just like that, you get to see the last lesson of the year. The last lesson of the year. This is it. Compadres, this is it. Grand finale. I'm sorry it's going out with this information, but it's good information. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was necessary to know. Okay, so those of you that are being serious about this, I really appreciate it. Know that this is probably the most important part of Algebra 1. This is truly it. This is finding quadratic functions and what they're all about. Okay, so you've graphed a couple of ones and you've found axis of symmetry and vertex. And today we're going to find maximum and minimums. And it's very simple. You've already done everything we're going to do. We are not going to graph, okay? Because I'm not in class with you. It's tough to do this. So I'm not going to actually graph with you. We're just going to shoot straight to the minimum and maximum. But if you will just stay with me for a moment, I'm not worried about you doing this, but watch how you would graph this, okay? So say I had 3x squared minus 6x plus 5. Remember 3x squared plus 5. If I didn't have that minus 6x, it would be up or down on that y-axis. It would be up 5 units. It would be sitting right here. And then it would be narrow, and it would open up, okay? So even without graphing it, I know it's going to look something like that, even without plotting points. Okay, so what's that negative 6x do? Like I told you, it's going to move the vertex left or right, all right? So the vertex here would be 0, 5 if I didn't have this, okay? The vertex is going to move, all right? That's why you do that negative b over 2a. This negative b over 2a gives you the x value of the vertex. That gives you the left or right, all right? So when you do that, you find the axis of symmetry. Negative b over 2a for this one is 1. That means the vertex moves to the right 1 unit, okay? You can't look up here and figure that out. You have to use negative b over 2a. All right, what else does it do? I can plug this in and I get the y value, and I'm going to figure out where it is. I know it's going to go through 5 eventually, but I bet you it's down like here, the 3 or 2. All right, so we'll plug it in, and you get 2. So that means you would put the 2 here, the 3, 2. All right, and then you would say, hey, I got the y-intercept of 5. Then you can mirror that image over to the other side, and now you have enough to make the graph. All right, so that negative 6x moves it down and to the right 1 unit. All right, down 3 units, 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1 unit. Wow. This has something to do with it too, though. All right, so this has a minimum because it opens up at this point of 1, 2. What's the actual minimum value? It's the y value of the graph, so it's going to be 2. All right. So 2x squared plus 4x plus 1, you can see my work. This is down and over here. All right, so the new vertex is here. So this is moved down and to the left. All right. Now we're going to jump into maximum and minimum values. I don't have many examples. I'm just going to do a few, okay? So when a is greater than 0, it opens up and you have a minimum, okay? When a is less than 0, it opens down and you have a maximum. All right, so if it's positive, you're going to have a minimum. If it's negative, you're going to have a maximum. Got to remember that. Negative, you're going to have a maximum. Okay, so f of x equals negative 4x squared minus 24x minus 19. If you're playing along, write that down. All right, so I know it's going to be a maximum. So what I need to do is find the vertex, and then I'm going to find the y value. That's going to be my maximum. All right, to find the vertex, I have to do this, okay, negative b over 2a. And if you come into Algebra 2 in 2 years and I say, hey, how do I find the axis of symmetry? If some of you go, hey, it's x equals negative b over 2a, I'm going to be so impressed. Okay, so remember this moment in 2 years when we're talking Algebra 2. All right, negative b over 2a. So here's negative b. It's negative 24 over 2 times negative 4. Okay, so this becomes positive 24, and then I'm going to put that over negative 8, and this becomes negative 3. So my x value of the vertex is -3. I got to plug that in to this function to get the y value. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So I got to go -4 times -3 squared. That's where I just plugged in 3 here, -3, minus 24 times -3. That's where I just plugged in -3 here, minus 19. That's my y-intercept, by the way. -19 is my y-intercept. This is always the y-intercept. That last number is the y-intercept. If there's nothing there, it's 0. Okay, there's y equals, okay, -3 squared is 9. 9 times 4 is -36. I'm going to do all that in one step. All right, negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 24 is 60, 72. Minus 19. So I get -36 plus 72, which is 36. 36 minus 19 is 15. 25. 15. 17. 36 minus 19 is 17. So that's 17. So that 17 goes right here. And that is my maximum. You're going to be asked, is it a minimum or maximum? That's a click down thing, so you can click and check it. You got to be able to find this guy. All right, so what is the maximum? Here it is 17. That means if I graph this thing, it would hit that -3, 17. All right, 1, 2, nice. 1, 2, 3. Are you doing that? Wow, don't like that. All right, so basically -3, 17. That's where this is. And it opens down, so it's a max. Max. All right, find the vertex by doing this. Okay, I'm just going through the same steps I just went through. -3. Let's make sure I'm right. Plug it back into the original equation. I get -36 plus 72 minus 19, which is 17. So my max is 17. If you'd like to try one, try one. I'm going to do it in a second. -8 over 2 times 8. This is my axis of symmetry, so 8 over 16, which is 1/2. Oh man, you had to give me a half. It's okay. So 8 times 1/2 squared minus 8 times 1/2 plus 6. All right. So what's 1/2 squared? It's 1/4. 1/4 of 8 is 2. Half of 8 is 4. 2 minus 4 is -2. -2 plus 6 is 4. There's my maximum or minimum. Oops, we forgot to look at that part. So that's the y value. Here's the x value. So my vertex is 1/2, 4. That's actually my vertex. It's not asking for my vertex, all right? So your questions aren't going to be, hey, what's the vertex? But you need to be able to find the vertex because that's the y value of the vertex. All right, so this is the maximum or minimum. This opens up, so it has a minimum. So it's got a minimum, and that minimum is 4. Okay, a water balloon is launched from the ground, and the related equation is f of x equals 16x squared plus 80x. So it goes like this. All right, so what's the maximum height? That's going to be right here. And how long is it in the air? That's the seconds here. So the maximum height is what you just did. -b over 2a. -8 over 2 times -16. -80. So negative over negative is positive. So 80 over 32. 80 divided 32. 80 divided 32. 80 divided 32. 2.5. Okay. You can totally use 2.5 or you can use 5/2. Okay. So I'm going to plug that 2.5 back in. So -16 times 2.5 squared plus 80 times 2.5. Got to do the math. So 2.5 squared, 2.5. X squared is 6.25. How do you do this? I'm not touching anything. 6.25. I get so mad. Plus 80 times 2.5. So negative 16 times 0.625. 6.25 times 16 negative 100. Wow. And 80 times 2.5 is 200. Negative 100 plus 100 is 100. 100 feet. That's how high this thing goes. 100 feet, I'm assuming. Okay, we're going to say this is feet. All right, how long is it in the air? It starts here and it goes up here and it stops here. I need this to be equal to 0. We're going to set it equal to 0. Remember that? Remember that? So I'm going to factor out something. What goes into 80 and 16? 4, 8, 8. So 8x, I'm on negative 2x plus 10. Does 16 go into 80? It does. Look at that. 16 is a common factor. So yeah, how did I know that? Because I saw 2 here. 2 is still common. So 16 is common. I can take out a 16x. Could take out a negative 16x. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to have negative x plus 5. And this all equals 0. Well, this part, 16x is going to equal 0, so x equals 0. And that makes sense because it starts right here. So 0 seconds, it's not even left yet. So that's that one, okay? Here's the one that I need. So can you look at it and say, hey, it's 5 seconds, okay? So add x to both sides. I get x equals 5. There it is, 5 seconds. You just finished the last slide of the year. I got no more clicks. No more clicks. Such a sad and happy day. Okay? So, the last slide. So you have one more lesson. One lesson. Why is it doing this? Really messing up. I don't know what's going on. It's appropriate. It's the last lesson, so it's messing up on me. All right, guys. That's it. You won't be hearing me again until, I don't know, whenever next. So if you need me, text me. If you don't appreciate everybody that's been doing everything. You guys have been working hard. Okay? And it shows. And I hope you've learned something. And I hope my video lessons were okay. And until I see you in Algebra 2, take care of yourselves.